This is a message for all men around the world, particularly those repressed alphas in this current situation. Look, my friends, my brothers, I know, I feel you. I know how difficult, how heavy, how repressive it is to have some idiot tell you what to do, how to live, where to go, who you can and can't interact with. I get it. It's frustrating. It's shit. And the truth is that we're born, we die, and in between we have this beautiful gift that we call life. But it can be very heavy, very repressive, and shit at times. So, it's what we do with that shit which counts. What we do with that shit that defines us. You have one of two choices always. There's two sides to the sword. Two sides to the story, two perspectives, two directions. I'm going to share with you some very powerful truths of my own through my journey, through the things that I have done and experienced, and through the freedom that sharing and letting go of those weights and limitations of old have brought me. So the shit, you can either carry it around with you, weighing you down, making you smell, and creating your own personal version of hell, or sweep it under the rug, right? Out of sight, out of mind, just as the way our fathers told us. It's all right, boy, get on with it, stiff upper lip, crack on, man up, and all that bullshit of old. So under the rug, out of sight, out of mind, but there it will rot and fester, creating a hostile and putrid environment for anyone that wants to come near. And you'll be so fearful of anybody coming close enough to see your shit, to see your cracks, your wounds, your scars, that you will push them all away. And this, in truth, is not you, but your ego defense system. Your ego is there to protect you, to keep you safe. And it believes by keeping another person away from you, it is keeping you safe. It makes rational sense. But there you'll be alone from now to the end of days. Or would you rather use that shit positively or just leave it to rot and fester, feeling that you are victimized, that you have no control or alternative? So, the shit of life, if used in the right way, is actually a benefit. Listen to what it is I'm about to say. Instead of carrying it around with you, we use it as fertilizer. We take it into our garden, into the garden of the mind, and we dig it in so that our flowers, our fruits, our crops, our buds can grow even more beautiful and enriching, life-giving, nourishing than ever before. It's time for a change. And if you're still watching this, then it means that you are awakening to an alternative direction, an alternative potential, despite that which is plastered in front of you moment to moment upon the media, that we are victims, that we are in a dangerous situation, that there are things to be fearful of, and it's best to hide and shelter away from the big wide world outside. There is something to be fearful of, and when we are fearful, we go one of two ways. We fight or we run in flight. Running away keeps you safe, but it's not till you face those inner demons which you can see outside that you will ever be free from them. And again, I'm going to share with you some of the most powerful and deep truths that you will ever have heard. Because my own self, my own journey, my own learnings, my own experiences are not unique to me. I may believe that they are, and that mine are the most serious and severe in the whole universe. But in truth, I'm another aspect of you, and what I go through, so do you, in some other way, shape or form or context. But we are not that different, my friend. Wherever you are, whatever you believe, whatever you've done, whatever you've achieved, I see you. I appreciate you and I accept you. And I ask that you allow yourself space to be, space to breathe, space to believe. That by sharing, by doing one small act of kindness to yourself, first of all, each and every day, will create a ripple effect that will travel around the entire country, the entire globe, and into the furthest reaches of space. What good is hostility, frustration, anger, negativity, feelings of repression? What good are they? In truth, they are good, because they allow you to realize that you would rather experience something other than them. It is the pressures of life which allow us to realize that there is an alternative way. It is the darkness which allows us to appreciate the light more so. And in the darkest and deepest depths of winter, it is the memory and focus of attention towards the summer and that joyful and expansive moment, those barbecues, those parties, those connections, those social events which we are so missing, is that which reignites that spark within. You're not currently experiencing that barbecue, but the memory of it, the thought of it, the projection of yourself to that moment in time allows you to experience it, to embody it. So I ask you, if you are ready, to actually make sure that after this video, connect with me, because I'm going to be putting together a weekly Zoom room just for men, a men's only group where we can come together and share. Let it out. Expel that which no longer serves you. Get rid of the fucking shit, man. And do it in a positive way. Inspire somebody else. Let somebody else know that they're not alone. That it's okay to feel weak. It's okay to be wrong. That it's fine. In fact, it's beneficial to be a man who's not always strong. And I would say a true sign of strength is an acceptance of when we are wrong, accepting that which we've done, owning it, and then letting it go, allowing it to return to that whence it came, allowing for that energy which is negative and hostile and putrid to go down the refinery centre, to be recycled, recleansed and redistributed, just as though you flushed the toilet and that shit has gone cleansed, purified, back out the tap to be drunk again. It's sharing. Sharing is fucking caring. Please share with me. If you are interested, drop a comment. If you would rather, send me a message. Whatever way you want to connect, amazing. And I look forward to actually jumping on a call with you, connecting with you, seeing how you are, what you're doing, where you're going. So that together we can use that shit more beneficially and positively. Because it's time for a change. Mankind has repressed man and womankind for centuries now. And it's time for a fucking change. It's time to realign the structure, to change the pyramid, to create a world where we are all equal, truly. Not that I am more intelligent, that I own more possessions, that I have a more attractive wife, that I do this, that I do that, that I'm stronger, that I'm fiercer, that I'm braver, whatever bullshit that I am, that your ego wants to attach to, is just that. It's smoke and mirrors and a bunch of bullshit. The truth is, the very fundamental truth, is that I'm made of the exact same stuff as you. The exact same stuff as this light, as this camera, as this wall. And it's the education of our children, those of you that are fathers, just like I am, which will allow us to evolve into a species that can coexist upon this planet with one another. as opposed to trying to kill each other as we have done throughout time. So, what does hatred and war bring about? Think about this rationally and actually stop and truly embody this answer. Breathe it in, feel it deeply within and under your skin. Hatred and war. Hatred and war will only ever create more hatred and war. Always. The only thing that will actualize love and peace is a love for peace. That's it. Simplistic. Easy. Job done. Crack on with the next one, my son. Fucking get on with it. Get on your bike. Get jogging. And all that. But actually, I would rather bring you the understanding and a little hack. Because you have decided that you are worthy of happiness, of even existing in itself, dependent on certain things that you will achieve or do or create or own. Whatever program it is, wherever it comes from, it doesn't matter. This hack will work either way. If you had decided that as long as you work breaking your back every day that you're worthy of rest, if you decided that as long as you're a good father, because yours wasn't, that you're worthy of feeling that love from your children, as long as you have decided that if you continue to create or to help others or to own material goods or whatever it is that you have decided your worth is attached to, and I'd like for you to actually realize this, so the next time you don't feel that you're ready or that you're worthy of sitting down to relax, or that something's not quite right, or that you're frustrated or caught in a loop within yourself, ask yourself why. That's it. That's all you've got to do. Why? Why am I feeling this way? And the little image which comes up is an image of a past event or memory. And it is that image that if you travel all the way back to that event, you can free yourself from it. That is what I do with my clients on a one-on-one level. And that is what I will actually incorporate in these Zoom rooms. Divine Masculine Room, where we can all come together as a place in the circle, all kings, each of us kings in our own right, free and sovereign in our own right, kings of our kingdoms, rulers of ourselves. There is nothing that anybody else can tell you that you have to do. It's all free choice. And if you feel you have to, then you're actually lowering and limiting yourself further than if you agree to for a collective or bigger picture. Okay, I don't really agree with not going and seeing other people. I don't agree with not having any connection with loved ones. I don't agree with having to cover my face, which is a form of repression, which has been used by wounded masculines in the past to repress their feminine counterparts. Be seen, not heard, and actually don't even be seen. Go over there in the corner, cover your face and be quiet. But now, because there is this fear of something outside of ourselves that we are creating within, suddenly it's fine and it's actually necessary to cover our faces, to hide our truths, to cower away and hide and keep ourselves safe in our bubbles. The hack to your worth. Your worth is dependent on one thing, and one thing alone: how you treat yourself, how you love yourself, how you talk to yourself, and how you focus upon yourself. Treat every person you come into contact with as the most important person in the world, and every interaction you have will be uplifting, nourishing, and enriching not only for yourself but for those as well. And when you're on your own, treat yourself in this same way, with love, respect, admiration, appreciation, understanding, and deep, deep love. As love is always the answer. No matter what the question, love is the answer. I guarantee you. Always and forever. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kain Stromberg. A year ago, I worked at a local container port, Felixstowe Docks, Felixstowe Port. Those of you local to the area know that it used to be an amazing place to work, very uplifting and supportive in structure. There's loads of men, but we'd all talk, we'd all share, we'd all feel that we could trust and rely on one another. A new managerial system was put in place, the divide and conquer of old, which works very well. And they come and they pound and pound and pound and take and take and take and control and dictate and separate you from each other and actually turn you against each other. Let us know if your neighbour's not conforming to COVID regulations for their own safety, yeah? Yeah, righto. A year ago, I left the port. It was under unlawful or wrongful dismissal, and it actually led me to where I am today. And I know that everything I have experienced in this life, all the way up to now, has been exactly what is required to lead me to this point today. And the fact that you are listening to this video means that everything you've experienced has led you to this very point today, where we are co-creating and experiencing this moment together. Whatever you do going forwards will dictate and decide the rest of your life going forwards. Look at it like a TV screen and look at yourself like a computer game character. You're born blank. You have various programs installed upon you like a computer. And then somebody comes along and types in anger or hostility or whatever it is. They trigger you and you respond in that pre-designated way. It's no longer beneficial to get angry every time you feel frustrated or in some form or shape of fear or danger. Yes, getting angry might have kept you safe. It might have kept you out of trouble in the past, but there's an alternative way. And it's time to actually look at things and alternate them and change them and actually adapt and evolve in ourselves, in the collective of humanity. With men being the actual people, the essence, the frequency, if you like, of energy, with it all just being energy vibrating at different frequencies. And in each of us there is masculine and feminine. The feminine is there to create, to love, to hold space, joy, harmony, flows freely. The masculine is there to actually hold structure, support, focus, direction, to create as well. The masculine creates in a straight line, the feminine creates in a free-flowing manner. If you come to an obstacle and you're only straight-lined, you'll become stuck and you'll just bash your head against it. It's not going to do any good for anyone. The feminine is awakened. The feminine has been repressed for countless generations by men. And it is her who is awakening within each of us. Within me, I have feminine energy. I am a king, a god in my own right as I go about co-creating this experience we call life together with yourself. And I'm also a queen. Doesn't mean that I'm homosexual. It means that I know that I have within me the same aspect and energy of everything in completion. I have the good, the bad and the ugly, the masculine, the feminine, the light and the dark, the angel and the devil. But they're not on my shoulders, they're part of me. And in the darkness of the mind, that voice which whispers, all it needs is an understanding and acceptance. It wants to be heard. If you try and close the lid, keep it down, keep it shut, it's going to try to scramble and fight for its very existence. It wants to be heard, to be accepted, to be appreciated. This is the fundamental basic principle to shadow work. It's going into the darkness, discovering the parts of yourself lost and fragmented there, the demons, the voices in the dark, and actually shining your light of attention upon them and going, hello, I see you, I accept you, I actually appreciate you, and I would like to know what it is that you would like. I would like to know why you exist. There'll be part of you which feels that you weren't good enough as a 6-year-old child in whatever context, so it created this defense system. Keep yourself strong or throw it away, whatever it is. Whatever program was created, it was created for a reason. We go back, we realize the reason, we integrate that part back into yourself in completion, as though it was a missing piece in the jigsaw. And the jigsaw is not complete. Every time you look at it, you're frustrated, you feel empty, you feel lost, you feel alone, you feel incomplete. And you go about trying to complete yourself with these other people, with these other beings, other situations, other connections, whether it's material, whether it's achievements, or whether it's in a connection, in a sexual embrace, a loving embrace. And more often, I guarantee you, it's not love. There'll be no love connected when you have sex. It would literally be the act of sex to get rid of that negative energy, to expel it into the woman and carry on your day. Yeah, fucking bitch, take that. Yeah. I've been there. I know what it's like. I have lived it all. I was 18 stone of anger and hostility, walking around like this, fucking raging. Hating everything, hating life, hating all the people, hating them all, really, with a conviction. And now I teach love. I'm a spiritual teacher now. For the last year, coming up to a year now, that I have been away from my previous job, where I was repressed and controlled and dictated and told what to do and felt fucking that big. Just as there are people now when I go outside to the park that are telling me I can or can't stand in certain places, or that I can and can't enter certain shops. I can do whatever I want. And that's the truth. There will be consequences of what I do, and it depends whether I want to experience the consequences or not, whether I actually go down that path or not. But I am free and sovereign in every single right. I can do whatever I want. It just depends on whether I want to experience those resulting circumstances or not. So, I've been in the deepest and darkest places of unrest myself. In a state of depression where I saw no way out. I was ready to exit, and I have been ready to exit several times. And it is my children, my boys, which are the most amazing and beautiful beings upon this planet to me. And I am biased because they are my children, and my ego has attached more of a sense of connection and worth upon them as to another child that I don't know. But in truth, I know that they are no more special or perfect or unique than anybody else, as we are all unique in our own way, and it is that uniqueness which makes this beautiful experience the enrichment and enjoyable journey that it is. For all the same, what's the fucking point? If there's always light, if we're always in a state of love, there'd be nothing to compare it to. There would be no contrast, therefore there would be no real experience. And as a deep realization that I received recently, with all my information, all my teachings coming as a channel from source above, not from God, because God's not outside me. There's not some fucking guy sat in the clouds looking down upon me judgingly. You can fuck right off. It's you that looks down upon yourself judgingly. You are the creator of it all. You are the God and you are the devil, embodied in perfection and equally entitled to each directional perspective. If you go left or you go right, it's up to you. So back to that TV screen. Wherever it vibrates at, it will attract. Whatever channel you turn the telly into, it will pick up and broadcast, and you will see. You'll believe it to be. You'll believe it to be your life. You'll believe yourself to be dictated or determined by whatever it is you do or achieve, or whatever state of programming that you are running. If you tune the telly on, channel 4, oh look, it's that program I don't like about that event that happened 3 years ago that I feel really rotten about. brings me down, makes me feel repressed, makes me feel angry, makes me feel hostile. Yeah, I can see that. What the fuck are you doing, man? Change the channel. Oh yeah, there's that program. Yeah, I remember that. Oh look, that one's nicer. Ah, yeah. Positivity, optimism, gratitude, love, excitement. Yeah, human connections. Yeah, all that good stuff. Oh, look, I feel happy and uplifted and vibrant once again. I've watched that negative program before, and it actually brought me some form of enrichment to my life because it allowed me to learn and to grow through that situation. Yes, beautiful. But I don't want to watch it again. I've seen it. I know what it says. I know what it does. And I know what path it leads down. And it's not the path where I'm going. It's not the path of my choosing. I'm going that way. The character you play has certain qualities, attributes, characteristics, and you can level yourself up. Every time that you experience something, it's the opportunity to gain more skill points and level yourself up. And if you've been trying something over and over again, if in a game, if in a football match, you keep trying to make the same pass and it's always intercepted, and you keep making that same pass, you're a fucking idiot. Truth. You can dummy it and send it another way. Try something different. So, I ask you today to share with me, to share with a loved one, to go to the fucking doctors or call them up because you can't see people anymore because we're dangerous, we're deadly to one another. And that is the biggest lie that they have told any of us, my brothers, that you are deadly to somebody else simply by breathing. That which you are, that life force essence that enters and exits with every breath. I know that's dangerous now. You mustn't breathe. You mustn't even be. Go in your corner, cover your face, hit seen not heard, actually don't even be seen. Stay in your house. No more words are said. I don't need to express my opinion. It's quite obvious. And that's all it takes. A very simplistic way of delivering information to those people around you. I'm struggling. I'm finding it hard. It's fucking heavy. I've been carrying this weight for so long now. I'm going to put it down. Because that's what we do. Like, we've got bags. We carry our shit around with us on our back. And all the other stuff from the past, we put in a bag and carry with us just in case we need it, yeah? And all the things that we're worried about in the future in another bag, and we carry it with us. Like, fucking hell. Yeah, that's good. I'm a man. I can carry this. No. Do you got a hand? No, fuck off. I've got this. Are you sure? Yeah. I've done it. And it wasn't until I collapsed face down in the mud, in the dark, and I gave up. Completely gave up. That I then discovered an alternative direction. Ego death is what it's likened to in a spiritual context. Although I teach ego compromise, because what we seek to destroy will only ever persist, and only a love for that which we seek to dissolve back into the ocean will actually bring it back into realization. Look at everything just as water. Everything's energy. Look at it as water. And any time that there is a feeling of separation or restriction, just look at it as a piece of ice. Put the ice back in the water. Bring that energy into your heart center, into the furnace. Melt it back into the water and just absorb it back in. Flow it back into the river, back into the ocean, back into the cycle of life. Yeah? It's a nice way of looking at it. So it's up to you what character that you embody and adopt and experience in this game that we are co-creating whilst simultaneously playing. So that means basically that life is like a big computer game. Your character, you believe yourself to be, and then you have moments of realization where you believe that, hang on, I feel separate to my body. And we can discover this in meditation. So as well as being the character, the avatar self, you are the eternal self, the higher self, the player. And you're also the creator behind this. And you are creating the game simultaneously to playing it. So as a computer game that is narrow and structured in direction, you can't go too far one way because the programming won't allow it. The programming we exist in is infinite in potential. Therefore, as we play the game, we can go in any direction we desire to the infinite potential of it within this construct of physical representation. So there's certain natural elements, there's certain limitations, such as gravity, as an example. We can't fly physically, but if you close your eyes and picture yourself flying, then you are flying. So what's more real? What you can experience physically or what you experience within the mind? In truth, it's all experience in the mind. This touch, this sense, these words I'm experiencing through the mind. I hear vibration through my ears that I then perceive to be sound. I see light reflection and retention, which I then perceive through my eyes to be sight, to be light. It's all in the mind. And if you don't mind, it doesn't matter. Something which makes you feel hostile or negatively triggered or angry, again, does so because you've attached your mind to it and you've attached a desire to it to be another way other than it is. If you just don't mind it, then it doesn't matter. And without the mind, there is no matter because there's nothing to perceive. Without the mind to perceive it, there is nothing to be perceived, okay? So back to loving yourself first above everything else before you can then even think about loving another person. What defies your worth is the way you treat yourself, the way you speak to yourself, the way you behave around yourself. And I tell you now, a woman does not want a man that is putrid or negative or that contains viruses, likened to a USB stick being inserted into her mainframe, into her motherboard. If it's got viruses on it, she's going to download all those viruses. And then you're going to continue that cycle, passing that information on to your children, and their children, and their children's children. By breaking the cycle yourself now, you gift the next generation a clean slate, a clean start, so that we can together create a world of true equality for all, men and women, boys and girls of all colours, creeds, races, religions. It doesn't matter. I don't mind, therefore it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you've done, what you've achieved, what you believe, who you worship. None of it fucking matters. What matters is that I love you. And that goes to you too, my brother. I love you. I love you. I love you. And in truth, it's not your fault. You've done certain things in the past because of certain programs that you've embodied and adopted due to experiences and situations of old. It's not your fault. I forgive you. Because it's not your fault. And I love you. Unconditionally. Whether it's your fault or not, it doesn't fucking matter. I love you anyway. But it wasn't your fault. What you do now is your choice. And it's your decision what version of existence, what version of the world that we co-create tomorrow. Again, to those of you that are feeling heavily repressed and controlled, dictated to, undermined in your views, told what to do by some fucking idiot in a suit who doesn't know what he's talking about, and everybody else is just like, yes, okay, go left, okay, go right, oh, okay. Oh, by the way, masks do nothing to protect you, but you have to wear masks as people who don't kill people. Which one? That one's more fearful. Killing people's more fearful. I'll go that way. They give you all the information so that you can choose accordingly, because it's all free will. All free will. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, so say I, and so it is. So, I've walked a very interesting path. I've hurt people deeply, deeply, deeply wounded and hurt people that I love more than anything in the past. And I did so mindlessly, without reason, and in ways that I can't still understand. I hurt people as a child. I hurt animals growing up. I hurt my loved ones, my siblings, my brothers, my sisters. I've hurt everybody in a different way. I've hurt you in a way that you wouldn't realise, other than the connection between us all. Because anytime I separate, or I do separate myself from love, I'm no longer channeling and feeding my energy into that. Likened to being a light and a piece of dark, and if I focus and be the light, then I illuminate the world for everybody, and I add my energy to that light in further enriching and illuminating the world. When I align myself to the darkness, there's no light for anyone. But I did specifically hurt my family, my loved ones, my ex-wife. My children are still very young, and I'll have this conversation with them when they are older. But I broke my trust, the sacred vows made between a man and a woman. I did so because I felt I had no alternative other than to try to get rid of a feeling of resentment towards my ex-wife, when I used to work ridiculously long hours to provide the most beautiful and abundant life possible. I wasn't focused on myself. I wasn't loving myself. I wasn't being caring or appreciative towards myself. I was punishing myself for previous acts of wrongdoing, going, as long as you provide the life that they deserve for them, fuck you. Doesn't matter about you, as long as they're okay. And that was the exact thought I had, that moment that will always be part of my journey, as each and every moment is. When I made that decision, I felt, doesn't matter about me, as long as I can keep my marriage together, my relationship going, I will hold whatever is necessary for the love of my children. Never work. If the foundations are already broken, are already cracked, it doesn't matter how much support that you add to it, it will eventually come down. And the more weight that you continue to put on it, trying to support the structures of it, the more weight is going to be involved when it comes down. And in truth, going into darkness was the best thing that has ever happened to me. Because to me, life used to feel I was really lost. Lost in myself, confused. I felt alone, I felt isolated, I felt separated. I didn't feel that there was anybody I could turn to, because I didn't really feel I could turn to or trust myself. Therefore, I couldn't ever have any trust for anybody else, and I couldn't really have any deep or meaningful connection with anybody else, because I didn't have it with myself. And it was like I was walking around in this foggy maze, trying to find where it was that I was supposed to be going, or where it was that I thought I was supposed to be going, dependent on my parents' views and perspectives and those around me's opinions, and media, the news, society as a whole, what it thought, or what I thought it wanted me to be. When I did, I became very lost. And it was getting lost, face down in the mud, in the dark, giving up. And my ego stopped trying. It stopped trying to run away from what was old. It stopped trying to escape the past. There was nothing. It was just pain. Pain and then darkness and a void of anything. It doesn't fucking matter now. And I literally had one of two decisions, as always. Get up and make it the best it can be, or just stop trying. And in some ways, I took upon both. I stopped trying. I stopped trying to be or do in the way of old, the way that wasn't working. And I just started to learn new. I started to look within. I started to know that when I was angered or frustrated or felt negative about something outside me, that if I looked inside, I could find the root cause of it and actually remove it. Like the TV that's full of all those negative channels of old. You go back and you watch it again. You watch it from an alternative perspective, not believing that it defies you or dictates anything going forward from it, but just as it's an old program, an old experience that is there to learn and to grow from. You watch the channel, you watch the news program. Okay, that's news, that's stuff which is fabricated for an agenda. Yeah, great. Just as that in your mind is fabricated for the agenda of old to keep you narrow-minded and focused on that repressive tendencies within the self. Change the channel. But know that when a program does come up, everything in that program is there to enrich you, to allow you to learn and to grow and to evolve within yourself, as well as, again, evolving within the species, within humanity. And a very simple truth that I would like to leave you with, and I will share in depth within the group all of my deepest and darkest truths, because it is fucking hard. It is. But lots of things in life are more enjoyable and bring us more pleasure when they're hard. And it's the twists and turns and ups and downs of a roller coaster ride which make it the exhilarating and uplifting experience that it is. If it was just flat, it'd be fucking boring. And that's why my social handle is the Cosmic Surfer. Because together, my brothers, my friend, we are surfing those waves of existence. If you go under, bang, they will crash down upon you and keep you under. Sometimes, as I say, it's going into the depths where we discover the treasures that rest there. It's going into the darkness, which allows us to then stop for a moment and realise that, hang on, I can now see the direction of the light. In the foggy maze, I couldn't really see. It was kind of light, but I didn't know where it was coming from. Going into darkness, I could pinpoint exactly where the light was coming from and then journey towards it, which is what I've done. I discovered that door, I realised it needed a key, so I went back into the centre of the maze, which is found deep inside me, just as it is within you, to realise that love is the answer, the way, the truth. It's always love. Anytime you're separated from it, anytime you think, fuck you, John, fuck you, Karen, I don't love you anymore, I'm going to separate and switch off that love that I felt within you, through you, from you, that I felt in myself, I'm going to switch it off because you're a cunt. Who are you screwing over? They don't know whether you love them or not. You don't see them anymore. But allowing that love to flow through you to them means that you experience it. Cutting it off from them means that any time that you align yourself or are reminded of them, like air, flows freely and unconditionally through the acceptance of it. Accept love into you and let it go from you. Like a tap, if you turn it off, there's no more water. It doesn't matter who's drinking from it. Everybody wants a drink. Everybody deserves a drink, just as you do yourself. And like the sun that is shining, it's always fucking shining. Sometimes you can't see it and it's night and we believe it's dark. But in truth, it's just separate from the light. The light's still there. We just can't perceive it. The light, the love is always in here, always within you. Sometimes we do become separated from it and can't see it. It's always here. I know, it's fucking hard. And I've been called to do this for quite a period of time. And I know how heavy and hard it is because I've done it myself and I still step back in. I'm only human. I may be a very, very tuned in and brilliantly gifted channel who can deliver this information through me to you, who's recently received some very powerful downloads about the fabric of reality and the co-creation of existence simultaneously to playing it, the rivers being created whilst they are flowing, all sorts of weird and wonderful things that I can actually understand and comprehend in this human context of awareness. But I'm still human, and I still feel low. I still feel that after a month of not being allowed to go out or to go to the gym, that I'm getting a bit fed up of this feeling of being controlled, of not being free. But it's just that, a feeling, because I am free. I'm free to do exactly what I want. If I wanted to go to the gym, I could go break in and go to the gym. I could. It's a potential. And everything between the fact and the moment of birth and then of death is that. It's the potential. The life of your dreams is potential. It exists. If it exists in here, it can exist out here. It just depends on what you do between now and that moment of now to whether you will experience it firsthand. If you know that getting up every day really late, sleeping in, eating excessively, drinking excessively, smoking, doing drugs, whatever it is, going out and having lots of sex that is meaningless, whatever that you are doing to try to fill that void, you know that the time has come where it's not bringing you any enjoyment anymore, not even a surface enjoyment, then please, it's time for fucking change. It's time to share, to open yourself up, to open your heart bare. I know it's been hurt before. I know that you've opened yourself up, somebody came along and it felt like they stabbed you and they killed you, wounded you deeply, so you've closed up to keep yourself protected. Yes, it will keep you protected from further pains. You'll never experience that sensation or emotion that we call love again, because you're closed off to it. I know it's fucking hard. The truth is, you can open up your heart. It doesn't matter what anybody else outside yourself does, because when you love yourself truly, unconditionally, and without any form of attachment to it, doesn't matter. I love myself. They love me as well, great. They've decided that they want to continue on their journey elsewhere. Okay, perfect. Has that made me feel less in myself? No. Okay, perfect. There's nothing to look at. There's no triggers. There's no shadow aspect of myself needing to come up. They said that I wasn't good enough. Oh, that made me feel bad. So I don't feel like I am good enough. So they're there to remind me I don't feel I'm good enough, so I can look at and work upon that issue within myself, transcending it, returning back to neutrality again, harmony in the self. Okay, I feel good enough again now. They come along, you're not good enough. Okay, thank you. I see you. I love you. Don't get pissed off or frustrated at a monkey for climbing a tree or a fish for swimming in the sea. That's what they do. Monkeys climb trees, fish swim in the sea. You get people who are negative arseholes. You will always get negative arseholes, just as you will always get exuberant and vibrant, loving and joyful people. There's always a heads and a tails on the coin. If you flick the coin 50, or if you flick it 100 times, roughly it's going to land heads and tails 50-50. If every time you flick it and you're wanting heads as the answer and it lands on tails, you're like, fuck's sake, another tails. Heads, yep, heads, heads, tails, fuck's sake, another tails. Heads, yep, heads, whatever, heads, whatever, positive, whatever, love, whatever, gratitude, whatever, negativity, fuck's sake, negativity, fuck's sake, I didn't want negativity, negativity, fuck's sake. What are you doing? You're taking for granted the benefits. You're focusing on the negatives. And you know that an hour spent doing something that you enjoy passes like that. An hour spending spent on something that you don't particularly want to do, that's heavy or restrictive or negative in some way, it can seem like it takes forever. What are you going to spend your time on? That which restricts you or that which uplifts you and enriches you? So, once again, this, as long as I'm able, will be up online. I am being slowly monitored in the expression and freedom of what we do because of the way that the society or the manipulation of it is going. But I will not stop. I'm here to create, to co-create a world of true equality, to stand alongside you, my brother. And I ask that you share this video with anybody it might help. And if there's any divine feminines that has watched this, that have got this far, then fucking thank you. Generally, I work with women because you are more awake, more aware, more ready and accepting in actually facing those inner demons. Men, stiff upper lip, run away from it. It'll be all right. Keep it out of sight, out of mind. Lock the door. Fuck it off. And as I say, it doesn't work. And I know. I know. I am the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's my choice. I could go back to a life of crime, let's just say, where I hurt people, take from people, victimize people, or I could continue on this path of a life of enrichment, upliftment, a life of creating a world where we are all truly equal, because there is nothing that we need to take from another person, because it all is already ours by right. The link below will be there for the sign-up form for the Zoom room, the Zoom group. Drop me a comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, drop me a comment. If you're watching it on Facebook, you can send me a message or drop me a comment. And if it's not too long, it'll also be up on Instagram. And so again, DM me, drop a comment. But share, please fucking share this video to remind those men around the world that it's time. It's time to try something new. It's time to take a new direction. It's time to actually come together and share, to open up yourself and lay bare. Lay yourself bare for those that you love to see. And it doesn't mean getting your cock out and putting a little bow tie on it. It means opening your heart up. But it's always nice to dress up. Bit of fancy dress. Bit of a giggle. Goes a long way. I love you all. Peace out. Welcome. Welcome home. Welcome to the family. And welcome to the rest of your life. Discover the secrets to reality and gain the cheat codes to the game we call life through the activation of all strands of your DNA, so that together, now and forever, we can create a world of true equality for all. As united we stand, and together we rise. Thank you for who you are and all you continue to do. Thank you for continuing to gain the knowledge, the wisdom, for continuing to look within and doing the work required to bring freedom to not only yourself, but everybody else. As you continue to do the work, as you continue to expand your consciousness and awareness, you continue the expansion and awareness of everybody else, helping others to break free from that limitation and illusion of old. Continue to support me in all I do. Continue to grow the movement and continue to grow yourself.